that really is painful if you hurt your how much would that hurt? And of course, the prosecution then said, well, doesn't it have to do with how active you are? And Michael was very active. And the more active you are, the more it would hurt. So there was a need for moderate painkillers. There was a need for those things that he had to take. And they treated him so badly in the trial back in, the trial of against the molestation trial, and how they lied on him and wouldn't even let him come in the back at court, like other people. So he had to always be fully dressed, fully makeup up. When he would come into court, he couldn't just come, you know, normally like he would, except for the one time when the judge basically made him get up very early and come to court. And he had been dealing with some medical issues and had to go to the hospital, so he had to come in his pajamas, which was degrading. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, never comes dressed like that. And he was under medication there, and he had to come to court. It was just horrible how they treated him. And she also let us know that Michael had to have a skin graft, and they had to have a plate put under his scalp so that they could put in the wig and put in special hair, because Michael had all his hair burned out during the Pepsi commercial, and it actually was third-degree burns on his scalp. So, so it's another reason why he had to have painkillers, because after they put the metal under there, somehow I think the skin grew up under it, or the skin began to grow around it, or it was something like that, and it caused migraine headaches. And that's just totally horrible, just to think about that. How hard that was, that he's been having migraine headaches, and he's had then after that the spinal thing, and this man just kept dancing. I mean, that's dedication, that's love for fans, that's love for the world, that's love for the music, love for God. It's just like letting your gifts be used for positive, and the devil attacked him, and he kept right on going, guys. And for that alone, we should just honor Michael Jackson for his strength and perseverance and continued use. And he would still donate, the money to charities and kids. I mean, how hard to dance and perform and do all that and be in pain, and then donate all the money to kids and charities. That shows you real love, And when he's in pain, he's still giving, So, and we should all learn from that example. But that's what she was talking about. And she also gave a very great revelation. She talked about that one of the doctors who was caring for Michael, or said he was caring for Michael, Michael at one point was getting ready to be in a concert. And in the concert, they were going to use toasters. Toasters are these little machines that you curl up your body and you curl your arm. You squeeze your arms in, and you have to squeeze them in so tight where or you would decapitate one of your arms. You would cut them off. And so one night when he came in for the tour, Michael just stumbled in the room, she said, and wasn't drunk or anything like that. But he was in pain, and he just got done with trying to, deal with the pain he was dealing with. And so she told the doctor, no, he's not going to go out there tonight. He's just not going to do it. And the doctor grabs her on her neck and chokes her and pushed her against the wall and said, yes, he is doing it. And she couldn't say anything. After that, she was afraid to approach the doctor. She was afraid to be around these people. And she saw something was very wrong. So you see there was already some control there, some manipulation, there's some plants. And again, it's obviously a bigger story than what's being told. I believe in the Thriller killer speech. I believe that Michael Jackson was murdered because of the Beatles catalog and the music rights that he had. That's what it comes back. It just comes down to that, I believe. Or I should say it even on a bigger scale. It's just the fact that he was a good man in an evil world where the devil wants people to be greedy. And I think that I would say a bigger revelation would be that it was, the devil working through somebody through greed to kill off Michael Jackson more than it was even the people themselves. I just think if you look at all the good that he did and what he meant to the world, how many people were touched, it's just like anytime you have somebody good like that, evil comes against them. Evil comes against them. So I want to say that. But Michael Jackson, when you look at the final witness was Travis Payne, I want to talk about. And, there's some other witnesses today, but we'll talk about that next time. Travis Payne was, just very open on the stand. It's his first time even testifying in a court like this, apparently. And he was very open. They asked him, did he ever see Michael drink? Did he ever see him on drugs? He said no. He just told him about his relationship with Michael and being a professional and how he'd started working with him on Remember the Time. It was really cool for me being a fan, hearing all the details too. I like that part of it. And he just talking about how they worked on Remember the Time, how Michael had, he was just a dancer at that time. But later Michael decided to make him a co-choreographer to work on a Dangerous tour. Just the beginning of the Dangerous tour with the Dangerous Dance and I guess some other things, some other songs. And Michael, over time, they grew closer as friends. And they would talk about their moms. He said they would talk about, I guess, music and children. And they would just practice together. Michael would talk about his children. He would talk about how much he loved them. And he said that Michael expressed his joy in being able to do this tour because he wanted his children to be able to see him perform. And we know that's a tragedy that he wasn't able to get that. But at least the kids still see him perform through video and see his impact around the world, And they knew him, they knew their dad, for a short time, but they did know him. So, we have that. And we know Michael's in heaven looking down. And one day they'll be reunited. He talked about, they asked him, did he see Michael looking tired? He did admit, yes, he saw him look tired. And he said a lot of times he would work out a lot and get tired. And then sometimes he did have bad rehearsals. So he admitted to that. So in that respect, all of them basically admitted that there was something off about Michael at the time. And that was since the time that he came under the care of Conrad Murray. It wasn't his natural way of being. It wasn't him always. He wasn't always. He wasn't on drugs all the time. He wasn't just coming in, slurring his words, drunk. He admitted he never saw him drink. He never saw him do anything like that. He said he was always very wholesome, the Michael that we know. But this was a conspiracy. All this was murder. And so I'm glad that Mr. Payne was able to talk about that. And my mom was in for the next court case. So she'll talk some more about that, Miss Carolyn Owens Horton, when we see you next time. But basically, to wrap it up, all of these testimonies basically were pointing in one direction. That there was misconduct. That, especially Karen Faye, when she explains how she was choked by some of the doctors, it's apparently that there's some people that wanted Michael to just keep performing, you know. They didn't care about him. They didn't care about his life or what happened to him. And if they wanted to have some people to control him, to try and drug him up, to, you know, brainwash him, all kinds of stuff, tactics to try to keep him under their control. And that's why they got mad when he got that Beatles catalog and he started being in control. He started taking some of that control. Then that was a threat. Which I'll talk about more next time. I have since been in court and saw the testimony of Miss Judith, I believe was her name. She is one of the, you know, budget makers at Aeg, and she testified that there was a budget that had been given for Conrad Murray of about $300,000 over a few months, and that was allotted to be given to him if Michael had been able to live. He would have signed it, and some other people had already agreed to do this. But if you look at the scope of that, how much money he was supposed to be getting paid, and he had all these, you know, they already proved that he had so many bills he had to pay, so many debts. Then, of course, he's trying to get money any kind of way he can. But yet he's mistreating Michael. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. And for somebody to be getting paid that much, you would say, why would he do that? I believe that it's because he's getting paid by some shadowy figures, by some other figures that we're not knowing about. I believe he was acting like even a term we used to call a double agent. I think he was working for some other people that wanted Michael dead behind the scenes. And he was also trying to get money from AEG at the same time. AEG did not pay him in a certain amount of time. Michael was getting ready to fire him. And I believe these other figures promised him something and promised him freedom. And that's just where I'm at with that, you guys. So if you like what we're giving out, if you like the information we're giving out, if you have any more questions about what happened in the court, please leave a comment or just respond you can get to my Facebook, or you can email me, gowardh@yahoo.com, GOWARDH@yahoo.com. Just, holler back at your boy. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and please say that, or I'm sorry, not watching, listening. And please say this blessing. Just say, I'm blessed. Jesus is Lord. I have the victory. And everybody say, it's all for love. God bless. Say it again. Jesus is Lord. I have the victory. And it's all for love. Bye-bye. See you next time.